right, game picks. We've added a bit more sauce to this section this week. We've got an upset of the week, a sure bet of the week, and then I've been listening to a few NFL like gambling podcasts. I myself don't dabble in it. Pilch, you get around it a little bit. So we're going to talk about some of the spreads that we like. But before we get into, actually, they might be some of your upsets and sure bets. So we'll start with that. Who's your upset of the week?
Yeah, my upset of the week is the Ravens to beat the Steelers. I think the Ravens it'll be a revenge game for the Ravens after a pretty poor loss to the Titans last week. The Titans were actually favourites. I think we were talking about that.
Yeah.
And we were a bit surprised about it. But yeah, the Steelers are heavy favourites in this one, minus 5.5 points. So I think there's good value on the Ravens to get up there.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I'm a bit worried about their injuries, if I'm honest. Their backfield's been obliterated by COVID, but
True.
Yeah, I definitely think they're being disrespected by the market there. They're still, even despite being in bad form, they've still been putting up good results. My upset of the week, a bit of an irrelevant one, but just because it's on Thanksgiving, it's got some relevance. But the first Thanksgiving game, I reckon the Lions are a pretty good chance to beat the Texans. Lions had a disgraceful result on the weekend.
Yeah.
Like no other way of putting it. They lost 20-0 to the Panthers with PJ Walker at the quarterback position. But yeah, I reckon they might bounce back here. I think a lot of it does come down to whether Swift plays, because I think without Swift, they're a lot less dynamic on offense. But they're probably going to get Swift back. They could even get Kenny Golladay back. Yeah. And the Texans are actually paying $1.63 in Australian odds. I don't know what that converts to in American odds, but they're one of the worst run defenses, and Detroit have been pretty good on the ground all year. So if Swift comes back into the lineup, he's in good form. I'm a little bit concerned about Stafford's hand issues. I think he's pulled strained ligaments in his thumb or something. But yeah, I reckon they're definitely a smoky to beat the Lions. They might have to score like 30 plus points, but because their defense isn't great. But yeah, I reckon they're a good chance there in the early Thanksgiving kickoff. Your sure bet of the week, who do you reckon's a guarantee to win their matchup?
Yep, just quickly, Stafford's got to be one of the most unlucky blokes of all time. I swear he's just permanently injured.
Yeah, I know.
But
some blokes like that.
Yeah, my sure bet of the week is the Giants to get up over the Bengals. The Giants.
How lucky are they, just quietly? Like, I reckon the Bengals are actually a pretty nasty opposition with Burrow, but without him, yeah.
With Burrow, I reckon this would be a 50-50, but the odds are actually minus 5.5 points, which is huge. But I can't really see the Giants losing this. Their O-lines looked better. The whole squad's looked better recently, and Joe Burrow's out. So I think it's a sure bet.
Yeah, I don't think it will be a pretty win from the Giants. Who knows? There could be a statement win, but yeah, I can't really see the Bengals scoring more than 2 touchdowns, if I'm honest. Yeah. And the Giants will score more than that. So yeah, I'm very confident with you there. Danny Dimes, the great man. My sure bet of the week this is probably a cop-out, but Miami to bounce back and beat the Jets. I reckon they're going to thump them. Like, I reckon they're going to put 40 on them or something like that. Yeah, I reckon they'll let Tua have a real crack at it. They've kind of been limiting him a bit. They haven't been giving him too much passing action. They've been running it a lot. And yeah, I reckon he's going to have a blinder. I reckon he's going to have a breakout game. Yes, it is a dog act to just pick the 0-10 team to lose, but oh well. I reckon it's a must-win for the Dolphins. They've got to win these games if they're going to make the playoffs, and I reckon they'll do exactly that in beautiful fashion. So that's mine. The game spread, what are you interested in here?
Yeah, so I've got 2 here. The first one is the Titans plus 3.5 v the Colts. I think this will be a very close game either way.
Coin toss kind of stuff.
And yeah, I don't know. I'm probably not respecting Indy enough just because Phil Rivers. But I think the Titans have a good shot at winning, and the fact that they get the field goal leeway is pretty big in the spreads. So you don't really see teams winning by 4 or 5 points. It's either going to be 3 or 6 or 7. Yeah. So I think they're a good shot to cover by 3.
I
Fair enough.
back you there. And I reckon that, well, we saw it. The Colts did a job on them last time. So I reckon they would
Yeah.
have been thinking of a few ways to get around their divisional rival there. But yeah, massive game. There's actually a lot of big games this week.
Yeah, it's huge.
But that's probably the biggest of the lot. The one I'm interested in, I've got a few here. Look, my lingo in the betting is not that high, but the Cardinals at -2.5. They're playing the Patriots, and I'll be honest, I'm not really sure why the margin is that small. Like
Yeah, that's quite juicy, actually.
I would have thought that'd be like 5 under or something like that. But I checked the weather because it's at Foxborough, and we know that's a pretty volatile weather situation there. Sunny, no rain, no wind. It's a beautiful day. Kyler Murray, yes, he's got a broken shoulder or whatever, a strained AC joint or whatever he's got going on there. But I still think Deshaun Watson absolutely killed them last week. They lost to a pretty bad Texans team. I think Cardinals are way too classy to lose this one here.
Yep.
And yeah, as you said, like I can't see them winning by under a field goal. So yeah, I'm backing them in here pretty comfortably. So I like that spread a lot.
that's a good one.
What's your second one here, mate?
Yeah, this is another similar one, and it's the Raiders -3 against the Falcons, who absolutely suck. It's in
Yeah,
Atlanta.
they do suck.
It's in Atlanta, and they play in one of those domes, which is supposedly a huge
Worst
advantage.
stadium to watch football on TV.
Why?
I don't know. I just hate it. It's like the way the grass is. It's like not the same color or something. I don't know. It's weird, but carry on.
The Raiders beat the Saints at their dome earlier in the
Yeah.
season, so yeah, they're just a way better team, and like they were almost my sure thing, one of my sure bet if I didn't pick the
Well,
team.
surely they're going to put like 40 up. Like
Yeah,
they've been putting 30 plus up against a lot better defenses than the Falcons. So I reckon you're
yeah.
onto one
And
there.
a decent factor in this is Julio Jones. If he plays, the Falcons might have a chance at putting up quite a few points. It's going to be a blowout either way, you'd think. But if he doesn't play, they're just going to get absolutely obliterated.
Yeah, 100% agree with you there. I've got two more. Both of mine are rank outsiders, but I reckon they're being a little bit disserviced by the odds. This one's a risky one. So if you're actually listening to us to put money on, don't do this. But it's the 49ers at +7. The Rams did just put on back-to-back clinics against the Seahawks and the Buccaneers, but I think we're forgetting that the 49ers, even with the injuries, are still a pretty good team. I think a lot of this depends on injuries, similar to the Julio thing. Deebo Samuel is questionable at the moment to play, and then Mostert and Jeff Wilson are both scheduled to come off injury reserve this week, but they haven't officially been named as playing. But they're still a solid team without those guys. They've played the Seahawks, Packers, and Saints, so they're kind of making them look a lot worse than they are. And the game before that was the match they smashed the Patriots like 40-5 or something like that. So especially if they get Mostert back, I think that's a huge in because I reckon he adds a lot to their running game, especially and Deebo Samuel as well. He adds a lot in the air, but I reckon +7 is a bit stiff for them. The Rams aren't the highest scoring team going around, so yes, it's going to be tough for them to score a lot of points against this quality Rams defense, but I reckon +7 is a bit of a disservice to the 49ers. But yeah. And then my final one is the Bears, exact same situation. They're at +8.5 against the Packers. I do think they're going to lose. Pretty confident they will lose, but I just don't think it's going to be that large of a margin. I was looking through their matches this year. Only one match has had a margin of more than 8 points, and that was a 24-10 loss to the Rams. So, yeah, with a defense like that, it's pretty rare that there's blowout wins. So, even though the Packers' offense is on paper one of the best in the comp, it hasn't actually been in the greatest of form the last 3 weeks. So, I reckon the Bears are pretty harsh to be that badly favoured in the betting markets. So I reckon they're not bad value there either.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's way too big. 8.5.
Yeah, that's like Jets numbers there.
That means they're paying like $5, are they? Or $4?
I think they're 360 or something like that. But yeah, I think the Packers are actually the biggest favourite this week, which is pretty interesting given the Bears aren't bad at all. But anyway, fair enough. So that's all we've got there, unless you want to mention anything else. I actually enjoyed that little last segment there. I don't know why.
We should do a few. We should do a few more next week. I haven't got any more at the moment. But.
Yeah, we'll maybe bring. Yeah, I agree with that. I like that a lot. We'll continue changing the structure, streamline it, kick out the bits we don't like, keep the bits we like. But really appreciate it if you're still watching or listening at this point. If this is a clip, feel free to check out the other clips from the episode or check out other full episodes of the podcast. Feel free to get around the potty in terms of subscribing, liking, commenting, rating, and reviewing. Also get around the social media so you know when we upload a new episode. But basically, thanks for coming on, Pilch, as always. Greatly appreciated, especially on the day of a uni exam. Shout outs for that one. And we'll be back, same place, tomorrow, same time, for a fantasy week 12 preview. Big week in fantasy, so tune in for that one. And actually, before we go, quick. Oh, you've basically said who's going to win this, but we haven't mentioned this game. Who have you got in the Chiefs versus Bucks? Quick.
Chiefs.
That's what you get. Chiefs. All right, yeah, beautiful. You've answered Colts, Titans, and Washington, Dallas, so we don't need to go over those ones. But yeah, but for now, that's been the On the Ball Potty, and thanks for tuning in.
Queensland, it's a miracle! Oh yeah! What about that one? No! Unbelievable! Balotelli, Aguero! Crowd cheers. Here's Siddle.